Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So Manchester United fear that Mason Greenwood could throw his career away like Ravel Morrison did. Now Adi Boothroyd confirmed that Mason Greenwood was not in the England under-21 squad due to injuries and personal issues. Now, Mason Greenwood was withdrawn from the England squad earlier on in the season, wasn't he? And he had a poor training session the other week, and reflects on that, Bruno Fernandes was very, very frustrated with him. Solsjaer's actually said that he's had a few injuries, didn't play any part in the Everton game because he was allegedly out with illness. Now, this is Mason Greenwood's second season in our senior squad. It was last season he broke into our first team. Mason Greenwood has got a contract with the football club until 2023. At the start of the season, we give him that number 11 shirt, so he's the fourth Manchester United player to wear that number 11. So that is the breaking news on him. Will Mason Greenwood be available for the West Brom game after this international break? But Ole has been defending Mason Greenwood in recent weeks. Now, I want to give you some news regarding Alex Telles. So, according to Globo Esport, they are saying that Alex Telles has tested positive for coronavirus again. It said that he got tested positive yesterday. So that means he won't be part of the Brazil squad and he won't be able to travel to Uruguay. Now, Alex Telles has already had coronavirus once. And reflects on that, he's only played once for Manchester United so far, and that was the 2-1 win against PSG. That was obviously his debut for the club. So now, Alex Telles probably isn't going to be available for the West Brom game, is he? Telles has not yet made his Premier League debut for the football club. But I think he's going to be a very good signing for Man United. We got Telles in a deal worth 15 million euros with add-ons included, and he did sign a 4-year contract with the football club with an option of a further year. So that's the breaking news on him. Now, I want to give you some breaking news in regards to a director of football. So, according to recent reports, Manchester United are on red alert in our hunt for a director of football because the Ajax duo, Mark Overmars and Edwin van der Sar, are eyeing a new challenge abroad. Now, Mark Overmars is the director of football at Ajax, and he's done very, very well there. His recruitment's been good, and, he's been at Ajax around 8 years now, is it? He did say when he took over at Ajax that he wanted to be there for around 3 or 4 years, but he stayed there longer than expected. And Edwin van der Sar, he is the CEO at Ajax, so Edwin van der Sar operates the same role as what Ed Woodward operates at Manchester United. Now, Edwin van der Sar used to play for us. He was at the club for 6 years and he made around 266 appearances, was it, in all competitions. So would you take them? Would you recommend them to win to Manchester United? Now, I think we definitely need the director of football because it's one of the structural changes that we need at the club, and Ole Gunnar Solsjaer does need more backing. Now, there has been quite a few names linked with that role. You know, last month there was talks of Luis Campos becoming our director of football. He's currently the Lille director. Paul Mitchell was linked with it before. Fabio Paratici, he was linked with it. He's the Juventus director. And yeah, before there was quite a few former Man United players linked with that role. Obviously, there was talks of Evra coming in. There was talks of Ferdinand coming in. There was talks of Darren Fletcher and that coming in. But I said if we had to recommend one in, we need someone who's got that experience and someone who obviously knows the club well. But I think we've been in the process of trying to get a director of football in for like the last 3 years now, haven't we? So that's the breaking news on that. Now, will Ole Gunnar Solsjaer still be Manchester United manager at Christmas? Well, I think it depends on the results after this international break. Ole Gunnar Solsjaer is under pressure at Manchester United, reflecting on our poor start to the season. You know, we are sitting 14th in the Premier League. We have only registered 10 points from our opening 7 games in the league so far this season. We've not yet won at Old Trafford in the Premier League this season. And it is been our worst start at Old Trafford for around 50 years. Now, that win against Everton before the international break definitely saved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job at Man United, because if we hadn't have beaten Everton, then I think he would have been sacked as Manchester United manager. But it's been up and down this season, hasn't it, for Manchester United? You know, we've had some good results and we've also had some bad results. You know, the good results came against PSG and RB Leipzig. You know, recently had a good result against Everton and that. But the bad results, you know, were the 3-1 loss to Palace on the opening day of the season. Another one of the bad results was a 6-1 defeat to Tottenham. And another bad result was Arsenal the other week when we lost to them at Old Trafford for the first time since 2006 in the Premier League. And we did lose to Istanbul Başakşehir by 2-1 in the Champions League group stage. And that was an embarrassment. You know, if we can win our next 5 or 6 games after this international break, then I think a hell of a lot of pressure will ease off Ole. If we are to drop any points within the next 5 to 6 games, then I think, you know, he could be sacked as Manchester United manager. I don't think Ole will remain Manchester United manager for this season, but there is still a chance he could be here for Christmas. But don't forget, Ed Woodward recently did a statement and he insists that Manchester United remain absolutely committed to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I don't think Ole Solskjaer has been backed enough as Manchester United manager. Because during the summer transfer window, we missed out on all of his priority targets. You know, missed out on a lot of targets in general. But since the Ferguson era, you know, Moyes wasn't backed enough, Van Gaal wasn't backed enough, Mourinho wasn't backed enough, and Solskjaer has not been backed enough. And Ole revealed during the summer transfer window that he was very, very infuriated with the board. Obviously, Woodward's been at the football club since 2012 and the Glazers have been at the football club since 2005. Matt Judge has been at the football club now a good 7 years or so. He's been a transfer negotiator at Man United since like 2016. But it's good that Man United are making plans for next year. Next year, we're obviously looking to make more signings. We're obviously looking to get rid of more players as well because there's still deadwood in the squad. So yeah, there's a lot of players on our agenda, isn't there? So recently, David Carmo from Braga's been on our agenda. We've had Dan Axel Zagadou on our agenda from Borussia Dortmund. We're obviously interested in Dayot Upamecano. We're interested in Jack Grealish. I think we could go back in for Jadon Sancho next year. We've been interested in Ousmane Dembele. I think we could go in for Erling Haaland next year as well. So yeah, quite a lot of players on our agenda. But I think the areas Manchester United need to strengthen up is that back line. We do need a centre half because we need someone to go alongside Harry Maguire. And we also need a right winger, don't we? Some United fans will still say we need a striker because obviously Martial's out of form and Edinson Cavani's obviously in his 30s. Next year, though, I think we'll be looking to get rid of Jesse Lingard. We'll be also looking to get rid of Phil Jones. We'll be also looking to get rid of Marcus Rojo. I think we could sell Matic next year because he's lost his place in the team. A lot of Man United fans are expecting Paul Pogba to leave the football club next year. Juan Mata is another player that could leave. Daniel James, he could leave because he's out of form. Doesn't really get in the team lot now anyway. We could loan Brandon Williams out because Brandon Williams is now our third choice left back following the arrival of Alex Telles. Romero will go if Dean Henderson stays, but if Dean Henderson is to be loaned out, then I think Romero will stay as a backup. Ole Gunnar Solsjaer has been Manchester United manager now for almost 2 years. He has got a contract with the football club until 2022. If we do sack Solskjaer, it'll cost the club around £4 or £5 million because obviously he's still in the contract, like I said. This is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's second full season as Manchester United manager. We appointed him in December 2018 and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. But I feel as though the club made a mistake by giving him the job permanently. But the main explanation for giving the job permanently was reflect on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. I think if Manchester United could finish in the top 4 this season and if we could win a trophy, I think that would represent a good season for Manchester United and then that would give us something to build on. Now, to be honest with you, I don't see Man United winning the title under Solskjaer. I really, really don't. I think we could win a trophy this season, maybe the Carabao Cup, win into the quarterfinals of that, and I think we could possibly win the FA Cup. But we won't win the Premier League and I don't think we'll win the Champions League, but I do believe we'll get to the knockout stages of the Champions League. We haven't won the Premier League now for around 8 years. And I think we need to make at least 4 or 5 signings if we are to win the Premier League title. And not only that, we need a new manager and we need a new board and everything else. And obviously we need a clear out. Obviously, there has been a lot of narratives about Mauricio Pochettino becoming Manchester United's next manager. Pochettino to Man United now I don't think it's going to happen because Mauricio Pochettino is not waiting for the Manchester United job. He's not waiting. He's basically ready for a return to management because he misses football. He made that clear on Monday Night Football the other week. He recently said that Pochettino was watching Man United, City and Chelsea. I don't think he's too sure what his next club's going to be. Pochettino has been managerless now for like a year. But Rio Ferdinand came out not so long ago and he said that Man United have had no conversations with Mauricio Pochettino over replacing Solsjaer. And he said he was frustrated with the disrespect that's been shown to Ole. I like Mauricio Pochettino, he's a good manager and I think he's better than Ole. But my element of concern about Pochettino is not won anything in terms of silverware. Pochettino did well in his 5.5 years with Tottenham. He guided them to their first ever Champions League final last year. He guided them to the League Cup final. He guided them to 2 FA Cup semi-finals. And analysing the vast majority of his tenure, Tottenham were competing in and out of the top 4. You know, before he was at Tottenham, he was at Southampton. Don't forget he guided Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League era. And before then, he was at Espanyol. So far managed 3 clubs in his managerial career. But the Manchester Evening News said a few weeks ago that we approached Mauricio Pochettino over becoming the club's new manager. He was the favourite to take over after Jose Mourinho got sacked. But obviously we decided to appoint Ole in instead of Mauricio Pochettino. Because the way we saw it is that, you know, Pochettino doesn't know the club well, you know, like Ole Gunnar Solsjaer does. Because Ole Gunnar Solsjaer enjoyed 11 years at Manchester United as a player. You know what I mean? But I just don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is good enough as a manager. Because he hasn't got that proven pedigree, has he? He's gained managerial experience, reflecting how long he's been with us. You know, Man United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. He's managed over 100 games for Man United in all competitions. And he's won around 57. It says as well that we was looking at Julian Nagelsmann as one of the alternatives to Pochettino. And it says we was looking at Massimiliano Allegri. But it wouldn't really solve a lot if we decided to sack Ole, would it? Now, I think the things Solskjaer should do to get Man United more consistent is use the right formation. He's used quite a few different formations since he got appointed in, but in a lot of the games, he's gone with that 4-2-3-1 formation, and that doesn't really seem to suit our standards from my own perception. In the big games, he's gone with a 3-5-2 formation, Ole. A few times he's gone with a 4-3-3 and all of that. So what is Man United's best formation? A lot of United fans would like to see a diamond. I think Ole also needs to identify his best players. That's another thing he's got to do. I think he's also got to start Donny van de Beek. You know, Donny van de Beek has not yet made his full Premier League debut for the club. Donny van de Beek, though, has started our last 2 games in the Champions League. And, you know, Donny van de Beek revealed that Solskjaer told him he'll have to be patient and he'll have to wait for his opportunities. But Donny van de Beek said he would have loved to have played more at Manchester United this season. I think Edison Cavani has got to start now ahead of Martial. Like I said, Martial needs to be dropped. We need to keep Pogba dropped because he's been very, very inconsistent. You know, a lot of United fans are saying start McTominay over Paul Pogba. So, yeah, there's a few things, you know, he has got to do. Because some of all his team selections have been very, very questionable, don't get me wrong. Now, I have taken positives from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure, haven't I? He's made some good signings since he got appointed in as Man United manager. He's spent over £200 million since he became Man United manager. And he's enjoyed 4 transfer windows at the club. In the summer of 2019, he brought Daniel James, Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January, he brought Bruno Fernandes in and he brought Odin Igalo in on loan. And in the summer transfer window of this year, he brought Alex Telles in. He brought Edison Cavani in, Facundo Pellistri, Donny van de Beek and Amad Traore. Amad Traore will be joining the football club in January. 4 of the players we got on deadline day in this year's summer transfer window, don't forget. I also like the way that Ole has promoted the youth. He's obviously got rid of a lot of players since he got recommended in. Solsjaer showed a lot of tactical flexibility as well in a lot of the big games. Our record against the top 6 sides has been good since he got appointed in. He did well last season, Ollie, in his first full season. Guided us to 3 semi-finals, got us qualification for the Champions League, and got us third. And that's the second highest we've finished since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. So these definitely positives to take. But like I've said, Ole is inheriting a lot of players here from the Jose Mourinho era. Still a few players here from the Van Gaal era. Still one player here from the Moyes era. And there's only 2 players here now from the Sir Alex Ferguson era. So he's inheriting a squad that is worth 700 million. This is disregarding who he's obviously brought into the club and that. You know what I mean? But nothing's changed in the last 7 years or so at Man United. It's just basically been inconsistent. It's been like an ongoing cycle. We've obviously sacked 3 managers since Ferguson left. We sacked Moyes, Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. We've only won 4 trophies since Ferguson left, and that was the FA Cup under Van Gaal and the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield under Jose Mourinho. That came in Jose Mourinho's first season. We've recruited over 30-odd players in since the Ferguson era and spent close to the £1 billion range on them. Now, under the Moyes era, we brought Mata and Fellaini in. They're the only 2 players he brought in. Under the Louis van Gaal era, we brought Morgan Schneidlin in, Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Di Maria, Falcao, Memphis Depay, Rojo, Darmian, Martial, Shaw, they're still here. Romero, he brought him in, still here. Herrera, brought him in. Victor Valdez, he was another one. So, we must have brought a good 13, 14 players in under Louis van Gaal. And under Jose Mourinho, we recommended 11 players in to the club. Didn't we? We have spent big on players in recent years. Like I said, we paid 89 million for Pogba. We paid 80 million for Harry Maguire. We paid 75 million for Lukaku. We paid 60 million for Di Maria at the time we got him. No longer here now, though. We paid 52 million for Fred, 50 million for Bissaka, 40 million pounds for Nemanja Matic. So, and not only that, we've got players on big contracts at the club. You've got Edison Cavani, that's on 220 grand a week. Is it 230 grand a week? You've got Rashford, that's on 200 odd grand a week. You've got Martial, that's on a good 200 odd grand a week. You've got Lingard, that's on 100 grand a week. You've got De Gea, that's on 350 grand a week. He's the highest paid goalkeeper in the world and the highest paid at the club. You've got Harry Maguire on 200 odd grand a week as well. So, there you go. But I just think it's going to be hard for any manager at Manchester United to replicate Sir Alex Ferguson's legacy. They won't replicate his legacy. No manager will. And no one will last as long as Alex Ferguson did. Because Ferguson endured 27 years at Manchester United and won a total of 38 major honours, including 13 Premier League titles. But he didn't settle in straight away, Ferguson, because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club. Because since he's left being inconsistent, before he came into the equation was inconsistent. So the success came under him, Now, Man United have got a few injuries. Rashford has had a problem with his shoulder. Hope it's not too severe. He should be available for the West Brom game. Eric Bailly, he's out with a muscle injury. He's out for, a few weeks? Ollie confirmed that the other week. That's my element of concern about Eric Bailly. He's far too injury prone. Jones, he's injured and not so long ago had an operation. Lingard, he's also been out with injury as well. But he's close to returning, but he don't get in the team now regularly anyway. So, they are the injuries that Manchester United have got. I think Lindelof was recently injured, but I think he's okay now. But like I've said, we have got some good players in our team. There's also players at Man United that are not good enough in that. But there you go. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.